We're doing good? Oh, right. It's 3 o'clock. Shout out. Who's been here all day? Raise your hands. You're fucking G's. I can't believe you. Who just got here? Because you were out all last night. Just me? Great. I'm David Downs. I'm a senior editor at Leafly. Thanks for being here for the ICBC panel on forming strategic partnerships. I'm going to go ahead and let our panelists introduce themselves real fast. Go ahead. Take it away, Desiree.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Desiree, and I'm an intuitive and behavioral transpersonal psychoanalyst. I'm also a published author on the cross-cultural study of depression, the universality of it, and its medicalization. I am also the Vice President and Director of the Human Resources with a transformative wellness retreat and a distributorship company, which is Healthy Self, and what we have there are all ancient healing plants.
You're wearing a lot of hats out of San Diego, Desiree.
I do, plenty.
Sonny, take it away.
Yes, thank you. I'm Sonny Moerenhout, one of the partners at Cultivators from the Netherlands. We're active in growing consultancy and cultivation, cannabis research, and education.
George, hit it.
George Tanchev, CEO of Comerc. Comerc is a European-based company for 25 years into the fragrance and flavor. The last 10 years into cannabis, developed proprietary technology under the trademark of Pure 5 for extraction of cannabis at ambient conditions, full terpene profile, and preserving all vitalities of the plant.
Comerc's in like 40, 50 states in the US and going hard in Europe this year. Nathan.
Hi, I'm Nathan Kroger. I'm with RadSource Technologies. We are a medical device company that has, as of about 8 years ago, expanded into the cannabis industry, and our equipment is used to sanitize cannabis flower primarily so that people can pass microbial testing and reduce risk for people who have compromised immune systems.
Really diverse set of panelists, but I think one thing that we can all relate to is the idea of forming partnerships. I wanted you to raise your hands if you've ever been in a bad partnership in business or in your personal life, in your life. Reflect on those for a moment right now. Everyone cackles. I remember doing events with a team and on one project, and you're like, gosh, I can't believe I got into this boat. We need to get to the other side of the lake so I can get out of this boat as soon as I can. To start about strategic partnerships, Sonny, Cultivators is working as a project manager on 12 different companies that have different parts of growing as part of the World Horta Center. How did that partnership come together?
There was a need for research in the cultivation, and together it makes it more affordable for everybody. So they asked us to help them setting that up and bringing companies together.
Is it just a lot of meetings? Did you have to meet people and befriend them and win them to your side, or?
Yeah, of course, that is a part of it, but it's really like all have the goal in creating new knowledge and sharing that knowledge. So we are still in the cultivation of cannabis. It's still a young industry. We all need to learn a lot still and making it more professional. One of the key things is genetics. So one of the partners is an F1 CTEC, is a breeder with F1 hybrid seeds, which is completely new, and that could be a game changer. So we want to be upfront with that and knowing what is happening in that field.
Desiree, you've been doing indigenous partnerships,
yes,
strategic alliances in South America. Can you take us inside some of those experiences and talk a little bit about how forming partnerships with indigenous communities has been different than in some of the, like at a broader level with Western worlds or with countries?
Exactly. Well, being the president and co-founder of the Foundation for Human Kindness and Compassion, which is the nonprofit company or organization that we have alliance, and we're forming a strategic alliance with these indigenous communities. Now, the main problem with that one is because each country, they have their own laws, but the indigenous people also have their own laws. Actually, one of our experiences is what we had with Colombia. One of the community there were in
Yeah, shout out Colombia, right?
Yeah. I think Lucky is agreeing with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because of the laws that they have, which is so different from whatever I'd call it federal Colombia one,
Yeah.
it took our proposals at least 3 years. And within that, it's still like fighting within the community. So
Yeah.
we're really having a hard time putting that together. But at least in some of the other indigenous communities that we have, like in Peru and in Mexico and Jamaica, at least with that one, it's going slow. It's really very slow because of that reason. But it's gonna happen.
Can you just Google Colombian indigenous laws, or do you have to go there and be like,
No,
what are your
it's
laws?
their own, yes.
You got to go talk to them?
Yes, yes.
What are those conversations like?
Oh, it's,
Did you go to Colombia and like go
yeah,
to
actually we had one big meeting or proposal when we did our first proposal with the NASA community of Cauca.
Uh-huh.
That's in Colombia. Actually, there's 2 indigenous communities that we have in Colombia. One is the Koji community for the Taronga and the Sierra Nevada. So the 3 years one is the one that's happening with the Cauca one.
Yeah.
You know, and you go in there, everyone, you know, the leader, the women, the leader of the women are there too, because I also wanted to go and start mental health on there. Because every time all of these strategic alliances that we have with each indigenous communities, we really want to attend to their health. And not only, you know, not only just the health, but we want to develop all the businesses that they have that is fit within that community.
You've been working on this like new understanding of cannabis, trying to change mindsets around the healthfulness of it. Do these communities see it that way, or are you reorienting them? I mean, I imagine a lot of Colombian communities have been really impacted by the war on drugs.
That is one of a really good thing that you brought up, because this, with not only Colombia, but Peru, Mexico, and even the Jamaican, with the Rastafari in there, because we're also involved with some of the Rastafari community, they use cannabis, they grow cannabis,
Right.
something like that, and they understand the spiritual side of it.
Right.
And that's what I want people to understand, you know, whether we use it medicinal or recreational. We have to understand, we have to be in relation and vibrating together with the consciousness of that plant.
Yeah.
And they do understand that. And that is something that we want to really bring that, and change the mindset of each and every one.
George, over in Germany, we're seeing decriminalization and the beginning of further medical legalization. Are you looking at Germany? Are you looking for new partnerships in Germany? How is your approach to this year and next year going to go?
Yes, everybody's looking at the new legislation in Germany. This year, they decriminalized flower. We expect by the end of the year to allow extraction. That will bring a lot of business into Germany, because currently all the products that come in Germany are either extracted in Switzerland or all around the world. Absolutely, this is going to be the cracking point of the entire Europe, because everybody's looking after Germany and France as the major leaders of the EU. So that is essential to see that change.
What do you need on the team? Do you need anything to expand in Germany?
Well, if we talk about partnerships, of course, you first look at the holes of your organization and try to fill them with the resources that you don't have. Usually partnerships are formed, like if you read the books for partnerships, that's what it says. But really what partnership helps is to save money from tax and from investment. So these are the major things of building partnerships. So yes, we're going to be partnering with companies in Europe to provide systems to start extracting, to start processing the best way possible, and that's going to be mutual effort, of course,
Yeah.
to minimize the expense.
What types of partnerships are you looking at?
Well, there are different partnerships. Let's say marketing partnerships. There are
Marketing?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of them. It's better to find a marketing partner in Germany to be able to get to a German audience. There is a supply chain partnership. Like usually, as extractor manufacturer, we have pretty sophisticated process for manufacturing systems. So we're looking at a lot of sourcing of components, just not purchasing, like valves and pumps are not partnerships, it's sourcing. But when we do part of the system or integration, that's another partnership. We're going to be looking for companies to install in Germany, which is installation partnership. So we're going to be looking eventually also at financial partnerships, so to finance the systems for the local market. So there are a lot of things that can help setting up a vertical integration, which I see in Europe is very typical to outsource your niche that you're not too competent to somebody else to do to help you with.
Raise your hand if you're looking for a partner today. All right, we've got a couple. Save your questions for the end, huh? How have you gone about building some of your more fruitful partnerships over the years? When you think back on ones that have worked, how did they come together? What's the learnings there?
Wow. Well, if you are successful with the first partnership, that means that you're either lucky or destined to do it. It's 90% set to failure, your first partnership, because
90%.
yeah, if you
God damn. Okay, good. That's why that didn't work
because
out.
the thing that doesn't tell you is you have to figure out the people you partner with. And to figure out the people you partner with, like usually the books say, okay, first you need to feel you see what you need to source. Second, you need to find a partner. Third, you write a contract. And fourth, follow the contract. Yeah, that doesn't work. Unless your partner is a person that can keep parts of it, is dedicated, is passionate, then there is no contract that can save you.
Yeah. It's like temperament. It's like ethics. It doesn't show up
Exactly.
in a fucking RFP. You have to go and see how they treat the waiter.
It's like
They're
a marriage.
happy. It's worse than a marriage. You spend way more time talking
With
to
a
this
contract.
person. Yeah, right. You're chuckling over there, Nathan. Have you experienced this?
Well, we, as I mentioned, we're a medical device manufacturer, so we have equipment all over the world. I personally have been in Mongolia, China, installing equipment, and when you have a good partner, things go well, and when you don't, you show up and they don't have the equipment there, or they want you to pay them under the table to get certain things done, and that makes life really miserable. So, I like the idea that George says about luck, but just having to get on the ground and go talk to some of those people is the only way to get it done sometimes.
Yeah, if you guys, I've never done one yet. Just go hang out with the person you're going to do it with for a while, and you're going to know really fast whether it's going to be like a fit. I feel like. Desiree, you're chuckling, but I mean, you're you have like a psychology background. Can you drill down into this a little bit? It's like there's this phrase that personnel is policy, but the people are the personnel, and so the people end up being the policy. Yeah, but can you build on what they're saying?
In what sense, Ba?
How do you suss out whether someone's a good partner, like as a person?
Oh, well.
What are the red
everything is-
flags?
You should, well, red flags is, how do I say that? With a partner as being, it's the same with being in a relationship. It's like, because it's really true that being in a business is like being in a marriage, And it's like the same as if you're the president or anything, you treat the country as a business as well. So in a business sense itself, if two people, let's say the relationship, and that is the most important thing in any part, whether you're in business, whether you're in relationship, if you know that there are two, you don't really agree on some things, then, and if the other one really cannot accept, it's more of the acceptance of what each other's got.
Okay.
Yes.
Versus the like
Versus of going,
rock, unmovable.
you know, I
rock.
don't like what you're saying, and I'll fight. This is what I want. It has to be. You've got to have more of an open mind, and it depends on what sort, of course, of business that you've got and the person that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because most of the people don't want to go and, you know, get new informations, even though as okay, this is my belief. Now there's new information that I have, you know, received. Now people should be able to go and adjust that or adopt it to whatever they already believe, so that at least it's a different way. At least you're opening your mind a little bit to what the other person is saying, instead of being really closed because, hey, this is my belief. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
And I don't believe whatever you say. I think this is how we're going to go do it. This how we're going to put where our money is and everything. So, yes.
Yeah, do they have a goal orientation? Are they about solving a problem? Or do you have two members on the team that are an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object? You ever been on those teams with those two people? One guy's just bashing, the other guy's never laying up. And the phrase that came to mind is like styles make fights. You know, if you could have two really effective people, but if they have different styles of operating,
Yes.
then they're going to conflict. And
Will.
sorry, someone's.
Yeah, I was just to add to that, we had a group that we were working with in Brazil that I was working with, and we were getting along fairly well. And then we had a new person came in, and they had a very different style. So it wasn't very long after that, we had a different partnership with the people in Brazil, just because those were the people that got along with the guy that we were working with, that we sent down there to set that up. So to your point, I think a big part of it isn't just similar goals, but also has to be similar personalities.
And one thing I would add is like, and maybe you guys can talk about this, like, is there a way to go slow with partnerships? Can you break off a little bit and do a little bit together and then build, so it's not like getting married on the first date? Can anybody talk about being more iterative with forming strategic partnerships? Have any of you guys ever gone slow, or you guys just paper it up?
It's all about financing. If you have 20 million, you can do everything vertical. But if you have 200,000, you got to find somebody to fill the holes.
Straight up. What are the main differences in partnerships structures in the US versus the EU?
Okay, so I started first in the EU. We started with cannabis in 2014. We tried to do it ourselves by doing it the way in US, like we acquired a farm company because we didn't work with this product. So we started to work with farming, then extraction. You cannot design an extraction system unless you work with the plant, so you have to figure it out. And we spent a lot in that process. Well, it was beneficial at the end. But what I saw as the differences between the markets, that in US everybody wants to be vertical. And usually probably because it's much easier to get to hard amount of money. So they buy the building, they start to grow, then they think about extraction, then they think how to make products, then they start marketing, and this under one roof. Probably the best way to have most margins. But again,
right.
What about if you don't have the funding? In Europe, I noticed that companies are specialized in making products, and they source their material. So this is a partner that they source the materials from, and there are more than one, like packaging, actives, and base ingredients, and stuff like that. So they're sales partners, they go through sales networks. That's a partnership. So in Europe is more open to do their little niches and getting partnerships, and that's kind of the first way to look into a business, is like, who do I work with to achieve that structure?
Sonny, you're nodding. Have you seen this type of heterogeneity, horizontal integration, less vertical in Europe? Like, can you build on what George is saying?
With vertical integration, you mean really going together
Working in Europe, it sounds like everyone's got a piece. No one can do one whole thing, even at the...
I think we are in Europe more used to really working together with different companies than in America. It's like together you know more than alone, and that is also why the horticulture industry in the Netherlands got so big, because you can also learn from your neighbor. It's your competitor, but together you know more than alone, and in that way we are still number one if you talk about growing in greenhouses, horticulture, and that's also in the cannabis sometimes a bit frustrating because everybody is so closed and don't want to say anything, how they are doing, what they are doing. But I'm a true believer that if you talk with each other, you get to know more details and you can get a better product in the end.
Yeah. How does a partnership look on paper? What is a standard type of agreement? Is there any standard type of agreement? George?
I already mentioned that whatever you put on paper may not have the power to protect you at the end if your partners are not honest and not right people. But usually, you gotta first define, like, I never do three-way agreements, never. Never. I would never do three-way agreement. It always needs to be a two-partner agreement. Then you have to clearly define responsibility of the first party, responsibility of the second party, confidentiality terms, because if it's not confidential, it's not a real partnership. Your partner needs to care about your success, your confidentiality, your passion, needs to improve himself continuously as you do improve yourself. So if you try to capture these things into the agreement, that's good. At least outline in the agreement as many things as you can, so both parties are at least aware what page they are on.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see how it goes through the signing process, because when it goes through attorneys is the point where then a lot of things break.
Yeah.
Because partners, you can see if a partner is committed at that point.
Yeah. I mean, these all sound like things they tell you in relationship advice, like define responsibilities, like have confidentiality, like commit to self-improvement. One member of the team can't be like learning on Duolingo and the other one just playing video games all night and day. And then you don't really know what you got until you get in a pickle together and you have to get out together, or you see what people are made of. Right, Desiree?
Yes.
Yeah?
Agree.
Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah, that's it. I got it. I'm a good relationship consultant. Sunny, the World Hortus Center is putting out knowledge in the form of articles. What are some recent articles that you guys have the fruits of the partnership so far, and then what do you want to do next?
Yeah, what we're bringing out is new knowledge which we gathered through cultivation research, and new things which will be coming up is new strategies in growing, how you can influence the final content. So how can you influence cannabinoid levels, terpene levels in the final product?
What type of strategies? Because you had mentioned earlier that you were just published some papers on screening. There's 3 types of screens now: blocking solar energy, saving heat energy, and then blocking out light entirely for light depth.
Yep. Yeah, those are certain examples where you can look at how can you in that way influence the final ingredients in the dry flower in the end, of course. But yeah, you can also play with irrigation, fertilizers, and seeing how you can affect plant growth and development and the content of the final flower.
Can anyone talk about the law side of it? Is there something you shouldn't do if you're an American coming over here and trying to do a handshake deal to start a partnership? George, have you ever run into, what's the legal things to sort of think about? Can you just do a contract like you do in the United States and give someone a percentage of the company, or those kind of arrangements? How are the EU and the US different that way?
Well, I've done anything between a single page to 10-page agreements. Depends of the urgency, depends of the commitment. Usually, these agreements are not to give percentages from the company, but to define forms for JV, that 2 companies have equal responsibilities in this project. I would say that even a single-page agreement can be powerful enough to protect both sides.
Yeah.
Unless everything is like, everything needs to be listed inside, and everyone needs to be on the same page what they have to do in order to commit and fulfill.
So to add to that, one of the things I've found is that people in general are good people, right? Okay. Everybody wants best for their neighbor, relatively, or in my experience. So what we found is that contracts that are a little more in detail, that reduce potential ambiguity, increase the likelihood that you're going to both be happy with the outcome.
Yeah. That reminds me when the Catholic priest pulls the young couple together, you really want to get married, and they like start ironing it out. They make you do a consulting where you're like, you guys get on the same page, right? Before you, because like, let's make sure we're going to agree to split the money, goals go in the same checking account, like all the details.
Yeah, if you don't have the details and you go into it, you both might be going into a relationship, a partnership with different expectations. And when those don't happen, or when something unexpected happens, if you don't have a way to handle it, both parties could be very unhappy, and you could find yourself, in a legal court trying to figure things out, which is not good.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to close here. We got 10 minutes. We're going to take some questions. I wanted you guys to go down the line and tell me what partners you're looking for next. You're looking for financing partners.
Correct. Yeah. So the biggest prohibitor for us to expand into Europe, technology works, industry is acceptance of it, but it's finance. Our equipment is not inexpensive, and so if we're looking for people who are willing to take on the cannabis industry to finance it. It took us a while to find partners in the United States, and they helped us grow significantly. So that's what we're looking for in Europe as well.
George, next partnership.
My challenge all these years in the cannabis industry has been education. I know that when a product of ours gets in the hand of customer, we win always. The problem for me, so the partner that I'll be looking for is going to be a distribution partner. Okay. Distribution partner that can talk the right language, that can have the right access to the customer base.
So to distribute the product?
Yes.
Okay, so like that might be like CBD extracts, cannabis extracts.
We manufacture machines, technology.
The tech. Cool. Right. Sonny, next partnership?
Actually, we are just finalizing it, and a partner where we can do together practical trainings on cannabis cultivation.
Practical?
Training.
Training, yeah.
Yeah, so really
we need
doing
so much.
The cloning, the growing, but also post-harvest. We're just finalizing it, and the website should be soon live, that we really promote that LPs can send their stuff to us in the Netherlands. They can be trained for a week or 2 weeks, so that they are ready when they start up their own facility.
Where in the Netherlands? Do we get to learn in Amsterdam?
No, it's not in Amsterdam, the south.
Okay. Desiree, next partnership you're looking for?
Well, the communities and the families that we are involved with are mostly in the cannabis industry. So they're in the growing, and of course all other ancillary services like the clothing, handicraft, biochemical, bioplastics, bioconstructions. And the most important thing is these people are the custodians of the traditional medicine. And what they wanted to do is to also share it with us. And in that sense, that's where we need economic support, because we want to manifest. We want them to manifest their dreams.
Groovy. If anybody's got a question.
We do have questions. Let's hear it for David Downs and Desiree and Sonny and George and Nathan already. We're going to start the questioning.
For that audience, the 3 p.m. crowd, going
over
strong.
Here. First question is over here.
Hello. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Sorry. You guys touched on a lot of how to form partners within the cannabis sector. Were there different, or in your experience, has there been different partners, say, with ancillary businesses or certain, say, cultivars, processors, or even dispensaries that you would recommend or recommend shying away from, I guess?
I'll give everybody like 30 seconds to answer because we're going to wrap it up. I would say look for who's got cosigns. Like, is someone reputable? Have they been around? Do other people cosign them? they have a track record of experience versus like an unproven partner where they're saying they're promising the world, but they don't have much to show for it yet. There's a reason why people with large reputations might be more pricey to work with than someone new. For example, in the cultivation space on the breeder side, it's wild and woolly right now in seeds. And so when I'm writing about seeds and who's got good ones, I look for who's winning awards, who other growers want to work with. And that is like a proxy for their quality, like the cosigns. Anybody else got any build on that?
Just gossip among your friends. That's my advice.
Yeah, all right.
We have another question over here. I'm in the back.
Go for it.
I'll stand. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Powell. I'm the founder of Emerald Lane Recruitment. We're revolutionizing how recruitment and HR services are delivered to the cannabis space.
Nice, Emily.
Yes, across the globe. So here we are. My question is, these days there's a lot of people who are consultants and fractional. It's, the buzzword is fractional everything these days. It is a good solution, but what I see from my side is the difference between a partner, a true partner, and a consultant. And so as people are, and there's so many consultants wanting to actually be a true partner to our clients and to customers we're serving, what do you see the big difference between actually being a partner versus a consultant, and how has that been successful with the companies you've actually truly partnered with?
I can answer that question. When you are partner into, let's say, manufacturing company, you need to be vested into the products that is developed. As example, we work with a number of universities, and we had consultants in the beginning, but they're professors in university that help us to develop our systems. So they've been awarded even after we start selling the systems, because their direct work was appreciated and was in a foundation with what we do. So we treated them as partners. And as soon as you're vested into this business with your customer, then you can become partner. But they also have to recognize you for that and give you the credit. And this is a long-term relationship. It's not like a year or two. It can be 20 years. So as soon as this value is built and created and improved every year, this is a great way to create a partnership.
Fantastic. We have one more. I'm back here. I'm sitting down. My feet hurt. Here we go.
Oh, I hear you. Take care of those doggies.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luke Monroy. I'm a founder of Plant Purpose Media, filmmaker, storyteller. I was very lucky to interview people from the international cannabis industry for the last 10 years and hemp. And I've seen people who knew their why being very successful in forming strategic partnerships. And I would really like to know from you on stage, what's your thought on knowing your why and how this is helping you not only form successful partnerships, but being successful in the long term?
Yeah.
So I can tell you for our company, we're a life science company, and the goal is to try and improve health. So that's ultimately what we're trying to do, whether it's with the cannabis or with the cancer research or with vaccine production or large-scale insect pest control. Our goal is to make the world better, easier for people to live in, and help people be more healthy. I mean, that's what our ultimate goal is. So that's why we look for partners who are trying to do the same.
Go, George.
I can add to it. So don't be emotional.
Nice.
Passion and emotions are two different things. Passion helps you, emotion harms you. Everything is numbers. In business, everything is numbers. You have to be sure you have the value. That value has a number, and you have the return that you expect to. And do it with passion.
Yeah. Are we at time?
Yeah.
Great. Well, this is such an important topic. I got 8 and 11-year-old boys. They're forming strategic partners for life right now, making friends on the yard. It doesn't get any more basic than this. I mean, these people will be with them their lives. And in the business sense, maybe it's not like that kind of friendship, but it's that kind of long-term strategic relationship. And so it doesn't get any more foundational. The why is so important. If you don't know a person's why, their reason for being, what's motivating, what's operating them, you don't know the first thing about them. And so I hope you take some of these lessons out in there. dig deep into the people you want to work with, make sure you're aligned, and then start small and build outward from there. Make sure it's the right fit. Don't get into something you need to get out of later, right, everybody?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it was 90% fail rate for the first one, though. Thanks, George.
All right, let's hear it again for our panel. That was fantastic. Very enlightening. I'm sure they'd love to talk to you more in the foyer if you like. This is the International Cannabis Business Conference, Barcelona 2024.